Here we go.
And g'day to the Team G'day call. Today we have Diamond Ambassador, Denice Chenault. And Denice and Tom came to Australia a couple of years ago, and it was the first time I saw that longevity I could do as a business. I never thought that would happen. Thanks for Ted Anderson picking the phone up when I first heard Dr. Wallach on the internet, and then Denice and Tom coming to Sydney. And not only has it changed my health, but it's given me an outlook on life and health and wealth and all these things. Denice is a leader in the industry, not just longevity, but across the board. She speaks all over the world on leadership. So what we're going to do on today's call is hear from Denice a bit about her story, how we can learn from that. She has been to Australia a few times, so she understands the Aussies quite well. Denice, thank you for your time. And before we get started, I want to say g'day to everybody else on the call. We've got Pauline, one-star executive. We've got Linda, a one-star executive. We've got Kev McDonald, a one-star executive. We've got Isabel Burkhardt, a one-star executive. We've got Scotty, another Team G'day member, one-star executive, and Mike, a one-star executive. And Sue, you are welcome on the call as well. Denice, you have the floor. Thanks for your time. And tell us a bit about how you got started and why longevity.
Oh, Jamal, thank you so much. And it's a pleasure to be on here, and I'm jealous because I love the Gold Coast so much. So the sunshine behind you is making me jealous.
And before you start, Denice, I'm going to keep my mouth shut after this. Mike, if you want to just start showing the images that I sent you through now as Denice is talking as well. Thank you.
So thank you all so much. And as Jamal was introducing everybody on this call, I mean, let me just say that to achieve 1 star in longevity is a huge accomplishment. So I really want to acknowledge all of you for that, because that's huge. You know, every rank from here on up, once you get to 1 star and you know how to do that, you know, the entire comp plan is built on 1 star rank. And so you have accomplished huge things in getting to 1 star. And now you know that you can do that. And so now you know how to train that as well. And so Tom and I mean, first of all, I've been in longevity for 18 years, which is exactly how long Tom and I have been married. So that tells you something. I joined into longevity when Tom and I got married, and he was already a distributor in longevity. And he joined about 19 and a half years ago. And he was distributor number 116. We had only a handful of products available, and, you know, they were just nutritional products, all liquid, and Dr. Wallach's vision was, of course, to create the best colloidal minerals and vitamins out there. And so when Tom and I first got started, that's all we had. We had a handful, about 4 or 5 different, I have to say, pretty bad tasting supplements. And we had no sales tools whatsoever. And, you know, in my background was that I had come from the natural foods world, and there's a fairly famous organic milk company in the U.S. called Horizon Organic Dairy, and I was the 3rd employee at Horizon. And so you know, that was kind of my background, the natural foods industry. So when Tom and I started, we were kind of just not really even building longevity at the beginning. You know, we were sort of doing it on the side, but not consciously. And then we started sort of looking at the testimonials and what was happening out there. And before we knew it, we had a group in Australia, and Tom and I we looked at each other and we said, you know what? What if we actually learned this profession? What if we started really taking it seriously and learning how to build and learning how to teach and train this? And So at that point, we stopped everything else and we decided to take on Youngevity full time. Of course, at the time, it was called American Longevity and not Youngevity. That name came later when we decided that if we're going to go international, that it really didn't make any sense to be called American Longevity in Australia. So the company switched the name to Youngevity. And so, like Jamal said, we have been to Australia probably about a half a dozen times. And the amazing thing about this company is that I think, first of all, we started out as a nutritional company. The products work, number one. The products work. Dr. Wallach's research, there's nothing like Dr. Wallach and, the research behind Dr. Wallach's products. So that's first and foremost. Second of all, with this, with the business that we have now, with so many different products and services available, it gives us, and soon Australia, it gives you the ability to be able to talk to people about what they want to buy and not necessarily what you want to sell, which is, that's always been what Tom and I've talked about, is, using that coffee shop interview to sort of interview people and find out where they're at and, sell that to them. So often we see somebody with a limp and we go, oh my gosh, my products are going to help you so much, but they're not even thinking about their limp because they have huge financial crisis, right? And so that's what we've developed with the coffee shop interview. And for me, it's been the last 18 years has been such a gift for me because my parents were both teachers. They really wanted me to become a teacher. And so in college, I switched my degree from to teaching. And then I thought, you know what, I really don't want to do this. I really felt more of an entrepreneurial calling. And so I was a communication major. Don't ask me why, but I that's what I ended up with, communication and anthropology. But it's funny to me now because years later, what I love doing is teaching and training. So I really did kind of come back to my roots in teaching. And I'm a huge advocate of personal development, which is at the core of everything we do in network marketing. So Tom and I really, every year we take on, last year we took an NLP course. And so every year we do some sort of big personal development training. And I'm always reading, I'm always sort of listening from a standpoint of how can I take this and help our team. And just so you know, I mean, you would think that both Tom and I were extroverts, and we're not. We're both introverts. And I was a very, very shy kid. But it's been through, sort of deciding that we wanted to inspire people and step outside of our comfort zone. So when I was asked to talk at Erica Worre's women's event in front of 5,000 people, when I said yes, I was like, I was honored, but at the same time, I was totally terrified of saying yes. Mm-hmm. But it's almost like fear has been my guide to when I feel fear plus excitement, I know that I have to do it, and step out of my comfort zone and into that, into my courageous zone and do it. And so, the last couple of years of speaking at really big events has been huge for me as far as, taking me to the next level in this profession and being able to give back and bring longevity into the forefront, because a lot of people, as you all know, a lot of people still don't know about longevity.
Yeah.
You know, in the direct selling news, we're probably, I think last time I looked, we were like number 80 in the top 100 companies all over the world. And so many people don't even know about longevity. So, you know, Tom and I decided that, you know, speaking at these big events was great, not only for ourselves, but just to be able to shed a little light on longevity.
Denice, and I'd like to just compliment on that, is that, you know, we see you guys speaking at the events, the non-longevity events, where everybody is learning and how to use time leverage. Speaking of that, we've got about 10 minutes left. And if you do have 10 minutes, I'd like to get a couple of our callers to ask questions, as they've been looking forward to the call.
Sure.
But I just want to add, I remember when you and Tom came to Sydney one time, and this is probably 2 years ago, and he said, when I joined Longevity, and Tom and Denice are amongst the most successful people in network marketing across the board, full stop. And Tom said, when I joined Longevity, there was this many people in the meeting room, and he said, would you like 10,000 people in your when you join your MLM group in the room, or 20? So think about that, guys. We are in a very special position, and Longevity is acquiring all these wellness companies and groups that are in line with Dr. Wallach's message of 90 for life. But what I'd like to do now is, and every industry, by the way, is $1 billion industry, like coffee, fashion, you name it. I'd like to open up the phone lines now, Mike. If you want to unmute yourself, you can ask a question. Mike, I'll let you ask the first question, and guys, you can unmute yourself and make sure that we can hear you. Go ahead, Mike, and you can ask Denice a question. You there, Mike? I don't think I've done anything. Okay, Go ahead, Mike.
I am. Well, first of all, thank you, Denice, for being here with us. Actually, I don't have any specific questions except for the website. That's called the evaluation, the new evaluation, the health evaluation that popped up a few weeks ago. Do you know much about that at all?
So the website is healthevaluationsystem.com. And what it is for, I think, $9.95 a month, you're able to direct people to your website where they're able to, if they want to, take a health evaluation. It asks about a whole bunch of questions, and then based on how they answer, they're suggested certain products, and you get the health evaluation, their health evaluation as well. And so what's the other cool thing about it is that on that website is Dr. Wallach's, I don't know how to say, the download. I was going to say CD, but the Dead Doctors Don't Lie. So people are able to listen to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie CD as well. And so part of that $9.95, I think $4 maybe goes to Dr. Wallach for the ability to listen to that, to his recording. And I think from a product standpoint, it's pretty brilliant because it takes you out of the mix of having to, prescribe anything.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think, as far as being a tool for product users, I think it's really worth it. Cheryl Morley and oh my God, I just lost his name. This is terrible. Cheryl Morley was the designer behind it. And, of course, Cheryl Morley's Tom and I, she's our upline. So I really think that it's definitely worth the money.
Wow. And we always say in Australia, consult your healthcare professionals. Us distributors in Longevity, unless we are, well, I'm not a healthcare professional, so we always say consult your own. But you know, go to teamg'day.com, go to what Denice is talking about now. You'll find all that information at teamg'day.com, and which is Mike is showing the screen right now. So we've actually got a great new promo video too, Denice, and led by example. I'm just happy to say I've got a little role in that Australian video. But I'm going to open up the calls again. Mike, Linda, or Isabel or Scotty, if you have a question, go for it. Just unmute yourself and go ahead. We have about 5 minutes to go. So if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, Linda, go for it.
Hi, Denice. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Linda.
Hopefully I'll see you in Dallas, because we're coming over. So I'll come say hello. Yeah. You guys coming to do any talks in Australia soon? You and Tom?
You know, so probably the earliest would be late fall. You know, yeah. We don't have anything scheduled through the summer. We're starting to build a house, and our kids just moved here. They were in Sydney. They went to Zurich. They were in Zurich for 1.5 years, and now they've come back to Colorado. And so for the summer, we kind of blocked out the summertime so that we could spend some time with the kids and the grandkids. And so we don't have anything planned so far, but definitely, probably I would say November-ish is probably what we're looking at.
And how would you say, have you worked with many people in Australia? Like, how would you say, we don't have a lot of the stuff that the US has. Like, we don't even have a catalogue. So, you know, has anybody from the US ever tried to work the business in Australia? See what they come up against, what hassles they come up against?
Yeah, you know, and that's the challenge of the frustrating part, I have to be honest with you, from my standpoint, is that right there, is that we're still lagging behind internationally, and especially in Australia and New Zealand, because we've been open there, other than Canada, we've been open there the longest. And I have to tell you, I am, you know, you didn't say this, but I can tell you that I'm as frustrated about that as you are. And so, you know, you get the healthy body pack, yeah, Jamal?
Yeah, well, sorry, I can't help myself, but I you know, Denice and Tom, when they came to Australia a couple of years ago, they said the same. Like Tom said to me, he said, you know, where would you rather be? Longevity, I don't think it'll matter. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter when it's going to be number one. This healthy body start pack, nothing else comes close to that. And once people understand what it is in Dr. Wallach's message, remember when Doc started, it was just a bottle of plant minerals that tasted like dirt. So we have a great range and a great line. And the more we do our job, and I take this responsibility myself as I'm 2-star, I'm going for 4-star, guys, by the way. And once we make the volume cures all, as Ken Smith says. We create the, people want to get the product, they'll get it. It's going to come organically, and things are happening very quickly right now. It's like a jet plane taking off. I've heard Dr. Glidden say that. It's very slow, but once it gets airborne, it goes very fast. Now, Pauline, thank you for your questions, Linda. And Pauline, if you want to unmute yourself and ask Denice a question. Pauline's a fashionista, and she's also a 1-star executive. Pauline, do you want to unmute yourself and ask Denice a question?
Very simply, how do we get Marissa Kenson here in Australia? let's not just beat around the bush. Let's just get straight into it. Any suggestions, Denise?
Well, okay, so here's the tricky part. Marissa's line is actually being whittled down to a certain extent. It didn't do as well as we had hoped, to be honest. And so what's happening is the inventory that you see, you know, on the US site there's nothing new coming out right now. what Michelle is going to work on is probably more casual clothes, t-shirts, leisure wear, we call it athletic leisure wear, and so you'll see more than that, more of that. But to be honest, the clothing line was very difficult, only because the amount of inventory that we had to carry with all the different SKUs and all the different sizes it just didn't move as well. And we, there was a conversation with Marissa to sort of design more clothes that would sell more in the longevity demographic, and that didn't really happen either. So I kind of feel like I'm the bearer of bad news, because it isn't necessarily totally out there that they're sort of scaling down, but that's really what's happening. So we'll still have the jewelry, and we'll still have more of the casual clothes, but the really great dresses. And I just saw one of the pictures, on Jamal's pictures, I'm wearing one of the dresses, but the reality is, and I'm so sorry, but the reality is that it just didn't move as quick, as well as what Michelle had hoped for. And so they're not really doing anything new.
All right, now
Okay.
Pauline,
Thank you.
while you're there, no, you're right, Pauline. Do you want to ask a question to Denice about the jewellery, because we have that full product line in Australia, and I know that you've got some of that. Pauline's frozen. Can you hear me, Pauline? No, the screen has frozen.
Yeah,
well,
yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
The Mia Lesia jewellery is definitely more affordable. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely more affordable, like now, because how you were just saying about the Marissa, compared to the Marissa Kenson. So that's, and I know that we have all the range now. So that's been a fantastic plus for Australia, to be honest. That's been a really good positive thing.
Oh, that's
sorry. I know that's not a question. Sorry.
No. Yeah,
right,
that's great, and that's the great thing about the jewelry is that, first of all, one size fits all, so that makes it easy, and being able to sort of carry a little inventory of your own is great, because you can wear it and and use it as inventory to be able to show. So that's really great. Yeah, I feel. Here's the thing with me is you'll only get the truth from me.
That's what we want. That's all we want, Denice. Now, we do have a couple of minutes left, and I do know that Isabel and Scotty wanted to ask a question too.
Perfect.
Scotty or Isabel, do you want to unmute yourself and ask a question?
Hi, Denice. Scotty here.
Hi, Scotty.
Hi, everyone. Hey. Yeah, my health is amazing. And I really attribute it to the taking the products. I'm not taking as much as recommended. I'm only taking really one Healthy Start pack a month and a few other things. But the testimonials from people that have come from poor health and that really, really do take the recommended amounts must be phenomenal, as opposed to just going halfway there.
Yeah.
Well, and here's what my suggestion has always been, first of all, doing what you're doing is awesome. And from a financial standpoint, sometimes when you hear Dr. Wallach and what he recommends, from a financial standpoint, people sometimes just can't simply do that, And so getting the 90 essential nutrients at whatever dosage, even if it's, maybe half your body weight, but, even that is great.
Yeah.
I tell people that, you know, if they're able to take what doc recommends for 30 or 60 or 90 days, to do that, and then maybe taper down a little bit. But
Okay.
you know, I think that first of all, what you're doing is awesome, because you really are getting all the nutrition, and you know, at the very, very, very least, you know, especially older adults that may be on a fixed income, I tell them at the very least a bottle of, you know, plant-derived minerals.
Yeah, and that's about $1. That's under $1 a day in Australia too.
Yeah, exactly. And it's harder to get our minerals out of the food than it is the vitamins. So at least they're getting the minerals. But I think it's great that you're taking the 90 essential nutrients for sure.
Yeah, thanks, Scotty. And Scotty, this is another direct selling success story. Scotty and myself are best buddies, and we used to do TV commercials and movies together. And because we're the same height, we'd always rock up to the same castings, and we just became good friends. And I shared with Scotty Dr. Wallach, and Scotty is now a one-star executive, and pretty soon it'll be more than that. Now, we do have a couple of minutes left. I can see Isabel or Kev. If you do have a question, just unmute yourself and ask a question. Looks like Kev's sticking his finger out there. Just unmute his... Hey,
just
there you go,
unmuting myself. Yeah,
go ahead.
I don't have any like intelligent question. It just bugs me when people forget names. Was it Paul Crater? You couldn't remember there before?
Yes,
me?
it was Paul Crater. Thank you. How embarrassing, but yes, you're totally correct.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to know.
All right. Well, Isabel, do you want? Go ahead, Isabel.
Hi, Denise. Thank you for being on the call.
Oh, thank you.
I'd just like to ask a question on approaching customers. So, what do you actually do when you know that they've got health issues and they say, you know, oh, I don't need that, you know, and you know that they've got health questions and they just make all the excuses under the sun? What would you do?
By the way, we got 2 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, and so, you know, here's the most frustrating part about what we do is so often we want it more for them than they want it for themselves. And it almost has to become a program of attraction rather than promotion. And so, you know, I just say, well, you know what? You know, if you're, Tom always says, when your pain becomes bigger than your pride, then let me know. I'll always be here. You know, and I never try and push anything, because you know, when they're ready, if they're ready to hear the message, then they'll come back to you. If you've developed that relationship and you keep the relationship. So I just think yeah, it's a very, you know, that's one of the hardest things about what we do.
It's very hard.
One of the great things too, and to avoid getting cut off, thank you, Denise, so much for your time. It is all about relationships. And you know what, I was talking to my friend the other day. I talked to Tom and Denice, my upline now and then, and my downline, and they're my friends. So the other side to that coin is when you meet the right people, you want to talk to them anyway. Everybody on this call, I enjoy talking to during the week. You know, I'd be talking to you guys anyway. So, Denice, thank you for your time. Ambassador Diamond,
for all your hard work.
Thank you, Diamond Ambassador Denice Chenault. Thank you very much. And I'm going to wrap it up. Teamg'day.com if you want to go there for any information. If you are already a longevity distributor, please contact your upline or customer. If not, contact us at Team G'day and we'd love to have you. Thank you.
Thanks, Denise.
Bye-bye. Love you guys. Thanks,
Denise.
See ya. G'day and aloha. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bye.
Bye. See ya. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Still here.
Yeah, we're waiting to be cut off.